and has carried over.
We came home on Fridays for fries.
Oh, we had.
That's right, I did that.
What were
Yeah.
Fridays like?
Well, Friday, no, I had it either Thursday night or when I came home from school Friday, had to scrub the kitchen floor and the bathroom
See, this
floor.
happened once we
And the
got
hall.
married, got out of the house, everybody
Yeah,
had
had
their
to.
chores.
And then every Sunday we had to clean, had to dust.
And Florence, did you have a lot of responsibility for your sisters?
No.
Yeah,
No?
yeah, they played cards, that's how I took care of Shirley. Yeah.
So there was another sibling in between, wasn't there?
Yeah, brother of Rome.
Oh, of Rome.
Hi.
And what happened with him?
He died at the age of 2 at Sinai Hospital from pneumonia.
Oh, was that very difficult? That was before you were born, Mom, right?
It was,
Yes.
they
Yeah.
had the
But it was the
grocery
same
store,
age as your father.
1928, I think, it was 1927, I think. Where we had our grocery store on Grid Hill Avenue.
Joyce just walked in.
Yeah.
Hi, Joyce. And what was
Sit
it like?
down there.
What was it like for the family when he died?
They, it was
come in
very
here.
difficult, but they accepted it. And our Bubby was a very smart woman, and she told them it was God's will. I've always remembered that. And she told them, I was sitting there at the time, and they were crying and all. She said, God wanted him, and he took him, and you should really not be upset. You know where he is now. And it's God's will. Everything is God's will. With that
And that's
whole
how
house.
you were raised to believe, isn't it?
Yes, whatever God wanted us to do, that's what he did.
And Florence, what was that like for you as the oldest child, or did you help take care of him when he was younger, or when he was born?
Yeah, they had the grocery store.
We had a grocery store.
Right.
We fixed him and we took care of him.
How old were you when he was born?
In 1925 he was born.
Oh, so you're still
Around
young.
about 9,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was about 8 years old.
Right,
About 8, something like
And were you working in the grocery store?
Do you help out in the store?
No.
that. Not too much, we just worked around we helped in the house.
Yeah, homework.
The house cleaned.
Uh-huh.
Bubby helped, is put things on
The
the
Bubby,
shelf.
now,
Yeah, she
when they
helped.
talk about the Bubby, they mean the grandmother.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
your Bubby.
Zadie's
See,
mother.
Zadie's
Yes.
mother lived with them when she
Yes,
came to
she
this
wouldn't-
country.
She wouldn't move with any other child, would you believe that?
Well,
That was her Joel.
Why? Why do you
It
think?
was the Joella she was living with.
That was her baby.
Baby Jesus, what do you know?
That's right.
Reincarnated.
Something magical in that.
She was so crazy about him and anything, and she was a very ambitious person. She was not a person that sat around. She would go next door to Aunt Lottie's and help her, and I never saw her sitting around doing nothing, even to the day she passed away, which was sudden.
And when did she pass away?
In July,
1929.
in August, excuse me, August the
29.
31st, 1920.
So, and what was that like on the family?
Very hard. We took it very hard.
Very hard to tell.
It was
What
that
kinds of
simple.
things did she do with you?
Nothing. No, she helped the sister-in-laws. She'd go downstairs and help Aunt Minnie, and she'd go next door and help Aunt Lottie. And she was one very helpful person.
And who were Aunt Minnie and Aunt Lottie?
They were Zadie's
Brothers' wives?
brothers' wives.
Hmm.
And Aunt Lottie was a hymnophile. You just sing that?
And then he was a Meltzer, we can't leave that out.
And what's behind all that?
Nothing.
Oh.
No, well, she was born here in the United States, and she felt above us
Yeah, a lot of
because she went to school, and she got an education, the usual, to about the 8th grade. And Minnie was
Educated.
also educated too.
What was it? What year did Zadie die?
58, 1958.
1958. And what was that? How was that for everyone?
He was 62.
He was 61.
It was a shock.
Very-
It was a shock.
Very big shock.
That must have been a very tragic experience.
Because he was never a sick person. That's the whole thing. He never complained.
And what was,
Nothing.
how was
A heart
Bubby
attack.
after that, with her philosophy of God has his way of
Well,
doing
that
things?
wasn't her philosophy.
that was-
the grandmother's
that was-
philosophy.
oh, okay.
The other Bubby.
Okay. And what was
She took it hard, but she kept it inside of her. And
She
never-
moved, we lived across the street on Glen Heights from where they lived, and she came right over with us.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was such a smart idea, but she moved in with us right away.
With you and Daddy?
And I had the 2 children, Carol and Debbie.
It was very small.
Yeah, so,
She helped with them.
Where did Bubby and Zadie live when they first got here?
Bubby lived on, trying to think of the name of the street. Isn't that, it was Caroline and Lumford. In the corner, Uncle Sam Stone had a confectionery store there in the corner.
In the corner of Caroline and Lumber.
Caroline and Lumford.
And where did Zadie live?
I don't know.
She had a fantastic memory, I don't remember.
Did they talk a lot about their experiences in Russia when they were kids and
No.
growing up?
No, oh, I shouldn't say
the only thing they talked of was the grums.
that. Yeah, Pagrom.
That when it was Easter time, how the Jews had to stay inside, and keep their windows closed and the shutters closed, because the people would run around and they'd get wild and crazy, and they'd want to kill it.
What were the
whatever
pogroms?
Jews, huh?
What-
Pogroms were,
It was like a war.
it was like, it wasn't a war. It was just, it may have been, with the soldiers involved. I don't know. I thought it was just the citizens, their neighbors, would get all
The
up in arms.
Cossacks,
It was,
Cossacks, was it
the,
on
I think the churches incited a lot of
hatred?
at those times because of Jesus is dying. And they would just try to blame the Jews for it, and they would just be very difficult on the Jews.
So they grew up with a tremendous amount of anti-Semitism.
Right,
Yes.
tremendous.
Yes.
And how did that affect their
And
lives?
That's how,
That's why they came.
when they got here, that's why they only wanted us to associate with Jews, because they felt that all Christians hated Jews. Somewhere along the line, there's that hatred. That hatred would never end, because that's the only thing they ever saw in their Christian neighbors. They were nice and good all year round, came Easter time, and they turned. And they always felt that the Christians always held that in the back of their minds, and they only wanted us to associate with Jews because it would be an easier life for us.
So they didn't have.
We did. And we all just associated. As far as dating and all, we only went with Jews.
Hmm. So where did Zadie live when he came here?
They don't know.
In East Baltimore. Exactly where we never told us exactly.
So they came directly from Russia
Yeah, in
on the
fact,
boat?
They didn't come through New York. They came down through
Dundalk, wasn't it?
Dundalk, around the
Through wasn't it Fells Point?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, no. More like Locust Point?
Yeah,
Locust
Locust
Point.
Point, it's,
Yeah.
Huh. And they didn't really talk about their experiences on the boat coming here?
No, they never did.
Didn't Bubby say something about being on a cattle boat or something?
I really don't know.
oh, did she tell you? What are your experiences? What did she tell you? You probably talked to her more than we did, because she was more relaxed at your age.
Well, just how difficult it was growing up
Oh.
and all that stuff. What are some of the greatest things that you remember? Or some of the best things that your parents taught you? Start with Aunt Florence. What do you think some of the greatest things your parents taught you were?
To
You're not Aunt Florence.
I remember taking care of straw, so Mom and Dad can play cards.
Did you learn cards?
No, they hated
none
them,
of
both
us.
of them.
I hated cards.
They both hated cards. Never
What did you
learned.
like to do when you were younger?
She
Yeah.
took violin lessons. She was only
I took violin lessons.
Yeah.
I used to like to read. That irritated Bubby too.
Yeah.
Why?
I always had my nose in a book like Rena.
Did she used to say that?
Huh?
Did she used to say that to you? What about lessons in life? Was there anything particularly that you learned from them?
Yes. Hold your mouth.
We're on Aunt Florence.
And don't be a yenta. Remember?
Yeah.
Don't And because
Couldn't
you'll,
repeat anything.
don't repeat anything you hear, even with your friends, and let them tell you. And that's where you're gonna have all friends and not of friends. Remember, that's all they kept on telling us, don't ever repeat anything you hear.
What else? What other things did you learn?
Be a good neshama. Be kind. That's right.
Always to be
Good
kind.
neshama. Be kind.
I'm glad she was doing it. You were so busy, cleaning all that. taking care
I
of
was
the kids.
cleaning, remember?
Yeah, we better be home from school on Friday to scrub that kitchen floor.
Why? What happened if you weren't?
Oh,
We heard it.
Did they yell a lot? Did you get in trouble?
No, they
we
just
just did it, we just followed suit. We followed, that's all.
years ago you followed your parents' instructions and that was that. They were the bosses. They really were.
We never questioned anything we had to do, we just did it.
Do you think they were nice parents?
Yes.
I mean, really, did you like them?
Compared to whom?
Well, it sounded.
Good parents. They were loving.
I
Yes,
remember
they
Bubby
were.
would talk about other couples who would stay married just because they were married, and they were people who were immigrants here, but they yelled, they screamed, they carried on all the time, and they only stayed together because
The children.
of the children. But it doesn't sound like that was.
No, they were happy.
No.
No, they were all right.
Because he was really in love with her. That's why he married her.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't an arranged marriage. Many of these other marriages were arranged
When he
marriages,
came over here.
so that they would have a place to stay or a job or whatever. But no, theirs was not an arranged marriage.
Mom, what's one of the greatest lessons that you learned in life?
And I learned the same thing that they learned. And always be nice. Always be nice to people because you never know when you're going to meet them later on in life.
right.
It's great.
And you didn't want to say anything bad about anybody because it could always backfire. And just to be a nice person, that's
That's
all.
all.
And do what you can and smile.
Because you're happy.
But Zadie always smiled. He always
Yeah.
smiled.
Yes,
He always
he
sang. He was
sang,
always
yeah.
happy whenever you saw him.
So what were your experiences like growing up so poor?
Sure.
Sure, come on over.
You want to cut it for a while now?
Uh-uh.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
We'll say hi to Joycey. Hi, Joyce. Join us.
Thank you.
We're talking about our history.
Good.
Any questions you have for your aunts or mother?
shaking it already.
We're talking about Bubby and Zadie and what it was like growing up for them coming
Right.
over here, and
What would
all
you like to
their
know?
experiences.
I'll put this upstairs in your room.
Okay.
So tell us, Joyce, now that you're on camera.
Oh, I am I? Well, let's see. Bubby and Sadie used to babysit.
Oh,
They did. Yes, they
Bubby, she
did.
didn't know her baby.
And
talking about you.
when mom and dad went away on vacation, Bubby would come over and stay with us. And
Did she tell you stories?
Oh yes, about the horsey and
The wagon.
Yeah.
What did she tell you? I thought it was only Joey and me that the horsey and the wagon picked up.
No, that was one of the stories
Where did that story come from? Do you know?
from Russia.
Was that something that her?
That was something, yeah.
Was that true, or was that something that her parents used to tell her?
I don't remember. She never really said. All I know it was just a story that she always told us. That was our favorite story.
Do you remember it?
No, I don't.
I do.
No, you do?
There was a horsey with the wagon, and the man with the horsey and the wagon were going along, and then they see this little boy sitting on a bench, and they went over to the little boy. That's why it originated with Joey and me, I thought, and said, "Little boy, would you like to ride on the horsey and the wagon and have some fruit?" And the little boy said, "Well," and the man said, "What is your name?" And he said, "My name is Joey." And so on, etc.
No, I don't remember.
Did
the
they ever
story.
talk about any of their experiences growing up, or did you ever ask them about what life was like in Russia or being here?
No,
Don't you remember?
I don't remember.
No.
They never did, they just kept it to themselves.
No.
Like how hard it was.
This was hard, and Zadie was a tailor.
Mm-hmm. Did Bubby or Zadie ever? Did you ever meet Ida? Ida, the one who brought Bubby here.
Ida Weinstein?
Ida Weinstein?
Yeah.
Yes.
And what was she like? She was a cousin.
He was the cousin. And we used to,
Who's he?
Sam, her husband.
Sam-
His
oh, Sam
husband,
Weinstein.
Sam Weinstein. That's where she lived. She lived with them at that confectionery store on